Welcome to Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome to San Antonio, Texas, and the 24th Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. What a matchup we have, a top 15 contest between two old Big 8 and Big 12 rivals, number 12 Oklahoma State and number 10 Colorado. A couple of teams that have not met since 2009. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas for this contest. Indoors once again for the 24th time and the highest ranked matchup ever in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Mason Rudolph captains the Oklahoma State offense, the junior quarterback for Mike Gundy. The veteran head coach in his 12th season at Oklahoma State, Mike McIntyre, in his 4th year at Colorado. One word, Mac, for each of these teams come to mind. Consistency for Oklahoma State and turnaround for Colorado.
Adam, we've got to see tonight, is Oklahoma State just happy to be here because it's another bowl game? Because a lot of their guys go every year. Nobody on this Colorado football team's ever been to a bowl. Will they be excited tonight? Both of them, the last time out, had very difficult losses. Usually bowl games are determined by who has the edge. We'll see tonight which one came out of those tough losses before and are excited about playing here in the Alamo Bowl.
Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Franklin American Mortgage Company. Can't wait. Oklahoma State's going to get the ball first, Mac. Explosive deep ball offense against one of the best secondaries in all of college football.
Yes, it's going to be fun to see when Oklahoma State's out there. You're looking at Mason Rudolph. He can throw to Washington. They're as dynamic as anybody in college football. But then they've got a young freshman that's the freshman offensive player of the year in the Big 12, Justice Hill. I think we'll see them try to stay balanced tonight and get the running game going early.
Colorado won the toss and deferred, so the Cowboys will be the first to receive, and their offense will be out there first. Chris Graham will kick it away for the Buffs, and Barry J. Sanders is out there, the son of the Hall of Famer Barry Sanders, transferring for his final year to his dad's alma mater, Oklahoma State. Top 12 matchup, inching closer to the college football playoff, and off we go from San Antonio and out to the 25-yard line will come Mason Rudolph and the Oklahoma State Cowboy offense, 18th in the country in scoring. Rudolph mans it as we took a look at our PlayStation View player spotlight. What do you like about Mason?
I like that Mason's consistent. He's got an even personality. He's studied so much more in the film room than when he was earlier in his career. He's really worked on his fundamentals. He can make some plays with his feet, but he's really accurate. He has to play well tonight on the deep ball for them to win.
And he announced on Tuesday via Twitter that he is returning for his senior season next year. From the 25-yard line, the excellent Cowboy offense goes to work with one of the best freshman running backs in the country in Justice Hill, and he'll work for 5 yards on first down. Tempo has been something to watch for Oklahoma State. They like to move the ball quickly, and sure enough, lined up fast for 2nd down and 5. A give to Hill. And the true freshman trying to get to the edge. Excellent job by Isaiah Oliver, the cornerback out on the perimeter, getting the stop after a short gain. 3rd down.
This is a critical 3rd down because you don't want to go out there in a tempo offense and go with a quick 3 and out and let Colorado really regain the possession that they lost by deferring for the second half.
Off the fake, they'll swing it out for Chris Carson with the first down. Breaking tackles out across the 45 to the 46-yard line, where Kenneth Olubode finally stopped him. 14 yards on 3rd down.
What a great play call. Got him in man coverage. Felt like they'd have that in 3rd and short. Had a little misdirection, flare out to Carson. Carson's a big, strong guy. He's the guy they'll have in there on 3rd down and short in most situations.
Chris Carson stays in the game on this first down play with Rudolph in the shotgun. Junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, making his 28th career start. Rudolph to throw, and the long out route to James Washington. Second most catches in the Pac-12 this year. He's got the first down, and Mac, he's one of our impact players.
Yeah, fans need to watch where 28 lines up every time. James Washington's about speed, speed, and speed, and he's got to separate from the secondary. And when you look at Awuzie, that's who's going to be covering him throughout the night, number 4.
Here's Carson again, and they'll give him forward progress to about the 38-yard line as Afalu Labi Laguda was there for the stop. It's a very good and veteran Colorado team, especially on the defensive side.
Well, and those guys said, we're going to do what we do. We're just going to line up and still play our man. We're going to cover Washington like we would any other receiver. It'll be interesting to see if they can do that tonight.
Remember, no Jim Leavitt, the outstanding defensive coordinator, took the job at Oregon, so Joe Tumpkin, the safeties coach, is calling plays for the first time since he was at Central Michigan. Play fake Rudolph, looking deep, and he'll fire, and it's caught by Jalen McCleskey. What a grab, reaching high inside the 20 to the 19.
What a great throw. Up over the top, up high. And one of the things the Oklahoma State coaches told us, all these other receivers other than Washington have to step up as well.
Back to the ground in Justice Hill, and he gets tagged by Ryan Moeller after a gain of 2. Inside the red zone goes Oklahoma State, facing one of the best red zone defenses in the country in Colorado.
And Colorado doesn't like to substitute a lot on defense, but let me tell you now, Oklahoma State's going fast. They said they wanted to go fast. They're snapping that ball about every 15 seconds. Looks like blitz from the field.
They'll bring 4. It's Washington in the flat, trying to maneuver away. Awuzie's right there with Tedrick Thompson, banging him all the way back to the 15. The forward progress will mark it at about the 11. Gain of 6 on the play.
You start looking at Tedrick Thompson and Awuzie, that's 2 pro players.
Yeah.
They're guys that are going to be around Washington all night. We'll probably see them bracket him some before the night's over.
Oklahoma State wants to go fast here.
It's a fumble, but it looked like they're going to let them play.
Yeah, I think so too. Stutter step here from Carson, trying to push forward. He gets drilled. Good job by Samson Kafabalu. There is the new play caller on the defensive side, Joe Tumpkin. The search for the defensive coordinator will begin after the Alamo Bowl by Mike McIntyre and the administration. But Joe Tumpkin, former defensive coordinator for the Chippewas, is calling the plays tonight. And
Joe told us they're going to try to make them one-dimensional. Stop the run, change up the looks for Rudolph at quarterback, and try to make sure he makes some poor throws. 4th and 3. Better look for a fake. You're in a bowl game. Anything can happen.
Sure. We're going to be looking for it all night. Zach Steiner, not a huge fake guy in terms of pass ability and such. And a 28-yarder for Ben Grogan is good to get Oklahoma State on the board. Fast start, just 3 on the board, but we're expecting some points tonight. The first time Ralphie ever ran was back in October of 1967 for the Colorado Buffaloes. It was against Oklahoma State, and that began a string of near 4 decades where Colorado and Oklahoma State met every year. Have not met since 2009. They haven't met since Colorado left the Big 12 for the Pac-12. They are meeting again here in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Ralphie had to change up her kind of mojo a little bit. Instead of turning right like she's used to over at Folsom Field, she had to turn left today.
Well, she nearly ran over me a couple of times at Folsom Field. So we all got out of Ralphie's way.
Sefo Lufau, the quarterback of the Colorado Buffaloes. Molly, he's been sacked 71 times in his career. This guy battles through injuries. What's his status right now?
Well, Sefo Lufau told me this is the healthiest he's felt since first spraining his right ankle back in September. He's been running full speed in practice and was moving well in pregame warmups, but he did re-aggravate that injury in the conference championship and blames that loss fully on himself, saying his issues in that game were mental, not physical. He admitted once they got into a slump, he focused on his own performance, not his teammates, Adam.
He starts this drive from the 25 mile, and running left is Philip Lindsay, the explosive back that went over 1,000 yards this season for the Buffs. He runs it for 15 and a first down.
It's a really good run coming out of the box. You've got the power with backside guard and tackle pulling. Oklahoma State is so focused on Lufau running from the quarterback position, we may see Lindsey have a big night.
Led the Pac-12 did Lindsey with 16 rushing touchdowns. Play action fake with a blitz coming, and Lufau rifles one for Devin Ross, and he works his way to the 47-yard line.
Good start with play selection. Good power play, fake the run off tackle, and hit Ross in the slot. They're going to work the slot receivers against the big safeties tonight of Oklahoma State.
Here is Lindsey, who's very good before contact, and Jarrell Owens is able to make the stop right at the 48-yard line for no gain. Philip Lindsey, Mac, you said it. He's going to be an impact player tonight for the Bucs.
Yeah. Lindsey is a guy that's fast, he's powerful. They actually call him the Tasmanian Devil. He's quick and has attitude, and big Vincent Taylor in the middle is such a big force at the line of scrimmage that he's going to have to stop the running game of Colorado.
Big dude up front for Oklahoma State. Will send Shea Fields in motion. Lufau, a good running quarterback, putting his head down and getting stacked up. Jordan Burton, the first man there, and Lufau a little slow to get up.
This is just a quarterback power play. You see the backside guard pulling up inside. What a play by Oklahoma State, stepping up and stopping them on 3rd and short. Their whole focus is to stop the quarterback running game early in this game. That's a huge play for Oklahoma State's defense.
Mike Gundy, 6-5 in his 11 bowl appearances. Oklahoma State, 11 straight bowls. That is a school record. Consistency, the name of the game for the Cowboys. Alex Kinney drills it, and Jalen McCleskey with the fair catch at the 12. That'll take us to a timeout. Oklahoma State a field goal on its first try. They'll have the ball back when you return to San Antonio.
The Valero Alamo Bowl. Brought to you by Valero, the power of the American dream. Visit San Antonio, where you'll find great sports all year round. And Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
You know, a lot of neutral fans come to the Alamo Bowl because the city of San Antonio does such a great job of hosting not only both teams but us. Very hospitable. This is a great site for a great bowl, and the matchup is as good as we've had in the Valero Alamo Bowl. 3-0 Oklahoma State leads.
Yeah, I've been here 3 times as a coach with Texas, and 2 of them I really enjoyed. The last one I enjoyed till Mariota kicked off against us. But they do a tremendous job here. It's one of the better bowls in the country, and a lot of fun for the players.
Oklahoma State drive starts from the 12 with Rennie Childs in the backfield and James Washington getting the flip. Washington, a speedster, trying to maneuver, and he'll get worked out of bounds after a short game. Rick Gamboa, the inside linebacker, able to chase him down.
Well, Gamboa and Tedrick Thompson did a tremendous job of going inside out and flattening Washington out and not allowing him to turn up and use his speed. That's what you got to do is use the sideline as the 3rd defender.
Justice Hill back into the game. True freshman running back, set an Oklahoma State record for yards by a freshman. He went over 1,000. Only freshmen ever do that as a Cowboy. Here's going over the top. Rudolph for Washington against Awuzie. He came down with it at the 41-yard line. Get ready to see that most of the night, the matchup and the target for Washington.
That's a big part of this ball game. Who wins the one-on-ones deep? Washington, a little hand fighting with Awuzie there, but really good job getting high point.
Here is Justice Hill on the move. Molly, you can add.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph very confident in James Washington in one-on-one matchups, saying people talk about the 50-50 balls. With him, it's more like 80-20. And Washington stressed that he'll use his speed ability to jump up over guys to his advantage.
Yeah, again, we're going to keep track of that all night long, Molly. You said it perfectly. 80-20 with Washington and that confidence level as Hill takes it out to the 49-yard line. Picks up 5 yards. Washington, along with Mason Rudolph, they did a video together on Twitter on Tuesday announcing that both of them will come back for their senior year in 2017.
Oklahoma State just got better for 2017. What a great announcement for all the Oklahoma State fans and Mike Gundy.
3rd down and 2 for the Cowboys nearing midfield. Wonder if they take a shot here on 3rd and 2 near midfield.
I think they run the ball. Okay. They throw a quick pass to the slot.
Rudolph with that pocket collapsing, trying to lunge forward, and down he goes. Great penetration by Leo Jackson III to get inside and force him up in the pocket.
Yeah, they were trying to throw an option route to 17 in the slot, and he just couldn't get open. They covered it up. Austin Hayes, really good pass rushers, and we know that Gilbert is one of the better pass rushers around. He leads the Pac-12 in sacks for the year, and when you cover one-on-one, that's a coverage sack.
So Zach Steiner, one of the best in the business in punting, will boot it away to Isaiah Oliver. He'll have to make a deep catch inside his own 10-yard line. Of course, we're leading it right up to Saturday and the college football playoff semifinals. Washington, the Pac-12 champ, who beat Colorado in the finals, knocking off the Buffs, will take on Alabama at 3 Eastern, then Ohio State Clemson at 7 o'clock Eastern time. The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl are semifinal matchups for 2016.
Adam, I think one of the storylines of this game is the punter. When you start looking at what he's done, 61.5% of his punts down inside the 20. When they don't make a 3rd down and 4, they punt down to the 5-yard line. They lead the nation in field position, and that's something we'll have to watch throughout the night. They'll keep Colorado backed up.
Pinned at the 6-yard line here for Sefo Liufau in the second Buffalo drive. Pressure off the edge, and Liufau throwing deep. Down the middle going was Shea Fields, and Liufau a little bit more to the outside. Devontae Averett, who Mike Gundy told us is likely the team's best blitzer, was coming in hot.
Yes, I think you're going to see him coming. He was delayed. It's like a green blitz when they add on, and he saw that the back was up inside, and there wasn't anybody to block him, so that wasn't a call blitz. That was a read where he said, I can get there, so he just left his position and hit the quarterback.
It's called green dog, so if you hear us use that term, that's what Mac's talking about, a read by a blitzer off the edge. Working forward is Lindsey, and he gets hit hard by Mote Maile up the middle. Hard hit by the senior from Euless, Texas.
And they've said Mole's a guy that nobody talks about that's really a good football player. He might be the most underrated football player on this defense because those guys up front are really tough.
He has to sprint off the field for 3rd down and 10 with 4 receivers out there. Cowboys will bring in a different package with an extra defensive back.
Now they usually go to Ross, number 2 in the slot on 3rd down. Looks like it's going to be a 3-man rush, but they are blitzing from the corner.
And Lindsey stays in the block as Liufau fires past the sticks, and he's got, as Mac said, Devin Ross to the 19-yard line to move the chains on 3rd and long.
What a great job by Sefo getting the ball out of his hands with the blitz from the boundary. They're coming in hard, and they hit him, but really smart by Ross, knowing where the sticks are, getting past the Ross, and getting a 1st down.
Penalty marker thrown here.
1st down.
What a comeback by the Virginia Tech Hokies to knock off the Arkansas Razorbacks in the Belk Bowl. We welcome you to San Antonio, Texas. So far, a 3-0 Oklahoma State lead as the number 12 team in the country against the 10th-ranked Colorado Buffaloes. Philip Lindsay on Colorado's 2nd offensive series. Solid run out across the 30. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath on hand for this 24th Valero Alamo Bowl, the highest-ranked matchup in the fine history of this bowl game. A little bit of tempo here, and Philip Lindsay gets drilled by Jordan Stearns, the safety. It'll bring up 2nd down and long for Colorado.
And one thing we need to look at, Jordan Stearns making plays in the secondary at safety means that Colorado is going to come back at some point in the game with play action and try to draw those big physical safeties up and throw it over their head from the slot.
Colorado, an incredible turnaround for this club behind AP National Coach of the Year Mike McIntyre. They finished in last place in the Pac-12 South 4 straight years. They won the Pac-12 South with an 8-1 conference record this year. Liufau off the fake into the sideline for Bryce Bobo. He stepped out of bounds across the 40. He'll have the 1st down in front of Ramon Richards. Mike McIntyre, AP and Pac-12 Coach of the Year in his 4th season. A lot of the talk was, is Mike McIntyre on the hot seat before this season began? The administration stuck with him. They gave him a chance, and he turned out one of the best years in Colorado history. Here is Philip Lindsay First 1,000-yard rusher in 6 years for the Buffaloes, taking it out for 7 yards.
They've got the underneath speed sweep with Lindsey. He's making a lot of yards. Flowers once again makes the tackle. That's another safety up. So I think we're going to see play action at some point in this game and try to get behind those safeties.
Sefo Lufau, a very good running quarterback, physical, will take it to midfield, a yard shy of the line to gain. Consistency is the name of the game. A school record 11th straight bowl appearance for Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They were 1 win shy of winning the Big 12 this year. It came down to Bedlam, as it often does. Oklahoma ended up winning the Big 12 championship, but a fantastic year for Mike Gundy, a 7-game win streak before the loss to OU to finish the season. A little trick play here is Jay McIntyre, the son of Mike McIntyre, former quarterback in high school, slides under center and takes the snap to drive ahead.
Well, we've talked so much about Lufau running the ball, and especially on short yardage. What a good play for McIntyre to slip up inside and make the first down.
Jeff Heiser is our lead official. It's an ACC crew, and he wants the official change from the far side of the field.
Tell you, it's going to be close, Adam. It is right on it. Yeah, Coach McIntyre went from being the coach on the hot seat to the hot coach.
And the coach of the
everybody
year,
wanted to hire him, and everybody tries to hire Mike Gundy every year. He just loves his school.
His alma mater is Oklahoma State. Let's see the pull of the chains here. It is just past the sticks for a first down for Mike McIntyre's son, Jay.
That's really good. He brought him underneath like he's going to be the lead blocker. He's been a quarterback. He gets under the center, takes the snap. All it is old conventional quarterback sneak while you're lined up in the shotgun. Really good wrinkle, really good call by the offensive staff at Colorado. One thing fun about bowl games, you've had a month off, you can put in some tricks.
How about this on 1st and 10 from midfield? They'll go play action fake against the blitz. Lufau's got a one-on-one matchup downfield, and it's his tight end, Sean Irwin, to the 34-yard line in front of Trey Flowers.
Once again, first down call. Fake off tackle to Lindsey. Pull those linebackers and safeties up. Slip your tight end out on a crossing route for the first down. They're breaking tendencies. They don't usually throw the ball to Irwin.
That's his first catch of the season after a career-high 15 last year. Low snap to Lufau, and out to Philip Lindsey in the flat, slipping tackles and putting his head down into Lindsey Pipkins after a physical 6-yard catch and run.
Yeah, there's a missed tackle by Stearns in space. You're seeing Colorado break tendencies here early. They're using a lot of play action, but they're throwing the ball more than they normally would early in a ball game to try to loosen up this Oklahoma State defense.
Fast-moving first quarter and 2nd down and 4 for Colorado on its second offensive series. Lufau to Lindsey. And trying to pound ahead only to the 29-yard line to set up 3rd down in a medium situation. To the left is Brian Lindgren, 4th year on staff. To the right is Darren Cheverini on his first assignment with the Colorado Buffaloes. His alma mater, was an excellent wide receiver for Rick Neuheisel. They're the co-offensive coordinators. They took this team from 97th in the country in scoring to 42nd. An incredible push. Blitz coming from the Cowboys. Lufau too tall, looking for Bobo, who wanted the flag against Ramon Richards. Lufau pounds his chest in frustration, and 4th down comes up.
That's a situation where you're 3rd down and 5. You actually have 2 downs to make it if you're trying to go 4 downs past the 50, which we thought Colorado would be doing, but he's just off the mark on the slant. These two guys have taken the passing game from Texas Tech and the power running game from Colorado and combined them with tempo, and they've done a good job with it throughout the year.
Chris Graham, who's been splitting some kicking duties with Davis Price since their main kicker Diego Gonzalez got injured. And Graham unable to connect from 47 yards. Wide to the left, no good. Cowboys get the ball back. You saw a great comeback in the Belk Bowl. Let's watch some fun here in the Alamo Bowl. We're inching closer and closer to the college football playoff. There are other games going on over the course of Capital One Bowl Mania, so get the ESPN app. Go to watchespn.com. You can stream every bowl game live as it's happening. You can stream this one, too, from the River City in San Antonio. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath at the 24th Valero Alamo Bowl. Final half minute of the first quarter and the third series offensively for Oklahoma State. A top 20 scoring offense. Mason Rudolph fires and finds Austin Hayes, having a career season. The San Antonio native from Reagan High School makes the grab for 7 yards to the 36.
Great start on first down. Faked the run to the left, came back through the option route into the boundary to the short side.
What could be the last play of the opening quarter? A flea flicker. Mason Rudolph didn't have what he wanted with Chris Lacey downfield, so he released. And Jimmy Gilbert able to run down Austin Hayes to close out the play and the first 15 minutes. The 24th Valero Alamo Bowl, the highest ranked matchup in this outstanding Bulls history. Old Big 8 and Big 12 foes meeting for the first time in 7 years. Off to quarter number 2. In the River City of San Antonio, you're watching the 24th Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. A matchup between two teams that met for a long time. Meeting number 47 between Colorado and Oklahoma State. Former Big 8 and Big 12 rivals who faced every year from 1960 to 1997. They were conference foes until Colorado left for the Pac-12. After the 2010 season, they're meeting for the first time since 2009. A 3-0 Oklahoma State lead to start the night, and Mason Rudolph firing over the middle, looking for his man Chris Lacey in traffic. Tedrick Thompson, one of the best pass defenders in the country with the stop. Third down and shorts. You feel like you're going to see them, and you feel like they're going to be very important in this game.
Yeah, and you've got to make them, and they're probably not going to be able to run for them. Tedrick Thompson makes a great play there. That's 1 out of 4 for Oklahoma State on third down and average to third down and short. That's the only thing they haven't done well so far in this ballgame.
Zach Seiner, the redshirt sophomore, 33 of his 53 punts have gone inside the 20. The best percentage in the country. Oklahoma State leads the nation in opponent field position. It's muffed by Isaiah Oliver back behind the 10-yard line. And who's going to end up at the bottom of the pile? Sean Irwin for Colorado racing over to the football to try to snare it in a battle with Sam Walkingstick of Oklahoma State. And it looked like Irwin was indeed the man to recover it after the sophomore from Goodyear, Arizona, Oliver, was unable to corral it cleanly.
Well, we heard that Sean is the middle of 3 twins, so he had to fight for food. So this guy can fight for a ball when it's loose. You see turnovers affecting bowl games because you haven't had live kicking game for a month. So this is pretty normal. So when you drop it, thank goodness, a lot of effort by Irwin to get on it.
And it was almost snared by Kevin Henry of Oklahoma State. And Irwin, the redshirt senior, playing in his final game in his career, was there to corral it. So another drive that starts inside the Colorado 10. And Sefo Lufau cannot connect with Bryce Bobo. And he takes a shot from Kenneth Edison Magruder, and he is slow to get up.
Going to have to be accurate with the downfield throws because both these secondaries are so good. He leads him a little bit too far there, and he puts Bobo in a tough position for a tough hit.
Redshirt junior had a career season this year with 41 catches. 2 of them, I remember you and I saw it against Colorado State, a one-handed grab on the sideline on a deep play. He had that incredible one-handed catch against Oregon from Steven Montez, the backup QB, to help Colorado knock off the Ducks on the road. That is a very important pop for them. Sefo Lufau on the run to the 12-yard line. And that'll set up third down and 6 as Devontae Averett made the stop.
And Adam, we've talked about field position. Second straight drive starting inside the 10-yard line. This punter for Oklahoma State is unbelievable. He may be the most valuable player on this team.
Mike Gundy has said as much. He's won games for us in the past. That's what he said about Zach Seiner. And that allows this defense to bring some exotic looks. Blue foul looking deep for Devin Ross, and he was unable to come down with it. Trey Flowers had the coverage. The Big 12 second team selection is able to defend, and it's 4th down.
And they're going to go to Devin Ross on 3rd down. He's really fast. He should have caught the ball. It was good coverage by Flowers, but they're trying to get their fast slot on the 2 big safeties, Flowers and Stearns, and throw the ball downfield.
Oklahoma State is one of the best kick blocking teams in the country, so keep an eye on that in any kicking situation for Colorado tonight. Alex Kinney will punt away to Jalen McCleskey, who's got a punt return touchdown in his career, and that was last year against Texas Tech. Booted away from the goal line by Kinney. And it will be a short kick with an excellent roll, and McCleskey lets it go for an extra few yards down to the 36. We were talking so much about Signer. Alex Kinney thought, hey, I'll flip the field. The 2 teams trade 3 and outs. Last time Michigan and Florida State met was 1991. Go back to 1986. Jim Harbaugh beat Florida State as the QB of the Wolverines. Now number 6 against number 11. These 2 guys are studs. Jabril Peppers, Dalvin Cook in the Capital One Orange Bowl, 8 o'clock Eastern time. What are you looking forward to in this one, pal?
I can't wait to see if that Don Brown defense can stop Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Francois and the speed of the Florida State offense. It's going to be a good matchup.
It was a 52-yard punt with a 24-yard bounce, accounting for some of those 52. So this drive starts from the 36 with a Rudolph throw to a sliding McCleskey near midfield. Excellent catch by the sophomore from Covington, Louisiana.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of play action on 1st down now because both defenses have been stubborn about stopping the run on 1st down.
Rudolph against the 4-man rush. Deep shot. This is what Oklahoma State does so well. And James Washington dropped the ball. The rarest of miscues by these 2.
He had to get separation. We said that's the Awuzie and Washington would be the matchup we'd see all night. Right in his hands. Got too much up in his face mask. Could be lights in the dome. That's something that happens sometimes. But he's too good a player to drop that ball.
Expect to see that as the day goes on, though. They're not going to stop taking deep shots. McCleskey on the tunnel screen gets hit hard right at midfield by Ryan Moeller. A gain of a yard. So for those of you stat heads, we've got a great buddy of mine, Steve Palazzolo at Pro Football Focus, gave us this. 3rd in the country in passer rating on 20-plus yard throws. That's Mason Rudolph. The rating is just shy of 125, which is phenomenal. Colorado, this was given to us by the Oklahoma State Scout Unit. They told us that in their scouting, Colorado only allows 18% completion rate on deep passes.
I think we'll see double teams on Washington coming up here pretty soon.
I don't doubt that. Awuzie has been beaten a couple of times already.
Looks like a 3-man rush. Might bring an extra backer.
They will bring 4 on 3rd down and long. Rudolph with some touch for Austin Hayes, and he goes down for the 1st down inside the Colorado 40-yard line.
It's been interesting. We haven't heard a lot about Austin Hayes coming into this ball game, and he's caught 2 balls and been the target for a 3rd one. Excellent throw by Mason Rudolph. So what they're doing, they understand they're having to get away from Washington some, and these other guys have to pick up the slack.
The San Antonio native with a couple of grabs already. Went to Reagan High School, 17 miles north of the Alamo Dome. Here is Carson in traffic seeking space, and he still churns out about 2, maybe 3 yards, depending on where they spot him.
And the Oklahoma State coaches told us they would do whatever they needed to do to keep Jimmy Gilbert out of the backfield. And so far, he hasn't been a factor on pass rush. And he's one of the better pass rushers around.
Jimmy Gilbert, first-team Pac-12 selection. Only Hunter Dimmick had more sacks in the Pac-12 than Jimmy Gilbert this year. Dimmick had 15 this season for the Utes. This could be a backwards pass for Chris Carson. It's a double pass for Mason Rudolph. Here's some trickery for the Oklahoma State offense, and Rudolph takes it near the 10-yard line.
What a great play call. They've got unbalance to the right. They've got motion to the field, unbalance to the field. They throw it out to the back. He throws it back to Mason Rudolph. Old play that I used to see Bo Schembechler use some. What a play on the screen.
And here is Carson launching in. He's got the first touchdown of the Alamo Bowl.
And you wouldn't have thought Carson would be the guy that would throw back to the quarterback. He's the big power guy up inside, 220-pound guy. They call him Hercules when they start talking about him in the weight room, right behind big left guard Marcus Keys for the touchdown.
Well, Ben Grogan, the all-time Oklahoma State points leader, surpassed Dan Bailey for that mark earlier this year, makes it a 10-0 Cowboy lead. In bowl games, you see this happen a whole lot. Chris Carson, Max said it, maybe you weren't expecting this guy to have the pass that set it up. A 24-yard completion of Mason Rudolph, and then Chris Carson, who missed 4 games with a hand injury this year, was dynamic in the second half of the year. He punches it home for the Cowboys.
The Valero Alamo Bowl, brought to you by Valero, the power of the American dream. Lexus, the Lexus December to Remember sales event is here, now through January 3rd. And the Quicksilver card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back, every purchase, everywhere.
Our very own Mac Brown regaling us with stories at the Valero Alamo Bowl kickoff luncheon. A fabulous job by my esteemed partner Mac, and a great job by the folks here in San Antonio to host this Valero Alamo Bowl, which has Oklahoma State in front 10-0 after a Chris Carson rushing touchdown. He had 8 of those in the final 7 games, counting today, after the hand injury kept him out for 4 games. Matt Amendola will kick away. And now to the 25-yard line will come the Colorado Buffaloes. Some sad news in college football today. For that, we had to stand correct.
Thanks, Adam. This studio update is brought to you by Royal Caribbean. College football lost a legend today. Former BYU coach Lavelle Edwards won the national championship in 1984 and was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2004. He died today at the age of 86. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you very much, Stan. First down from the 25-yard line for the Colorado Buffaloes, and it is Philip Lindsay trying to stretch to the edge and turn the corner, and he'll pick up a few yards. First time for those of you on ESPN joining us in the broadcast booth here in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath on the sideline as well. You knew Lavelle Edwards very well.
Coach was a great friend of mine. He was a mentor of all of us when we were coming up as young coaches. Never met a better coach and nicer person. Wife Patty, we hate so much for Patty to have to be going through this. We lost a great man today for college football.
Second down and 6 for Lufau, and he goes to Lindsay out of the backfield. Slips past one defender, and Trey Flowers, and gets hit by the middle linebacker Chad Whitener to bring up third down.
Adam, Colorado's had a punt, a missed field goal, and a punt. So they really need to make this first down because their defense is starting to stay on the field too long against the up-tempo offense of Oklahoma State.
We said it. This is an improved offense for Colorado, but they stagnated in the Pac-12 championship at times against that very good Washington defense.
Starts looking like it's too deep. I think we'll see Oklahoma State go to man in this 3rd down 7 situation.
Oklahoma State played a lot less quarters press as the season went on. They went to more of this cover 2 look. Lufau will run it with a head of steam, and he gets close to the sticks but shy by about a yard.
And Oklahoma State brought all of them. They showed a 2-man shell like it was too deep. They brought them. Now you're down to a 4th down and short. This is a situation in a bowl game where if you're Coach McIntyre, you could fake a punt if you see that it's there, because you've got to change the momentum in this ball game.
Jalen McCleskey is back to return. Remember that Kinney had a shorter punt but a very good bounce to help flip the field the last time. And he'll send a high one McCleskey's way. He'll come up in traffic with a fair catch at the 34-yard line. A punt of 32. The timer has 9:17 for the half, and Oklahoma State has the ball when you return.
Back here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Oklahoma State up 10-0, but it's not looking good for Colorado as medical training staff tended to Chidobe Awuzie's right big toe. He's been dealing with turf toe, so they taped it, but he is walking very gingerly on that, Adam.
Isaiah Oliver is in the game for the Colorado defense on the near side of the field. They do have some depth at that position. And running right is Justice Hill to start this Oklahoma State drive. And Awuzie is back out on the field as Kenneth Olabode ran him out. Awuzie is an NFL guy. Every NFL scout, personnel man I've talked to, while he may not be a first, second round pick, this guy will have a roster spot for a long time. He's so versatile in what he can bring on the defensive side. Rudolph taking a deep shot, testing Awuzie, and James Washington this time comes down with it against the banged up corner.
And don't think for 1 minute that the Oklahoma State coaches weren't trying to find from the press box who's on that sideline getting an ankle or a foot tape. So they're going to go after Awuzie.
Right back to the ground with a penalty marker thrown. Oklahoma State running it to the right. And Ryan Moeller makes the stop. But we'll check the flag here. Not much laundry on the field for the first half thus far. So Jeff Heiser will have our call. ACC crew.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's another thing, Adam, in a bowl game, you haven't lined up as much. You've gone through practice. You're in a very quick tempo. That was unbalanced line into the boundary. Somebody obviously didn't line up right.
Only D.D. Westbrook had more yards in Big 12 action than James Washington, and it's still Awuzie on that side of the field. First down and 15, play fake. Rudolph looking at Washington's direction, and sure enough, James Washington makes the grab, but it is ruled incomplete by the line judge. Hugh Campbell came over and made the call, saying that Washington did not have possession all the way through the catch.
Well, and this is a bootleg where he fakes the ball to the left. He comes up. We've talked about Awuzie. He may be hurt, but this young guy's already got a degree. He's tough. He's smart, and he was all over this one. Forced it out of bounds.
A very close call on that sideline. Our replay official is Tom DeJoseph, part of this ACC crew.
Must have been bobbling the ball at him because the feet were down for sure.
Yeah, the feet were clearly down, but it didn't seem to be cleanly caught with full possession. And now Jeff Heiser is going to let us know that this will be a timeout from Oklahoma State, perhaps to let the replay booth get a further look at it.
I'd say 100%. You start looking at it, you're going to take Coach Gundy and say, would you all please look at this again?
So again, is possession maintained throughout the catch? First off, is it established? That's what you have to look at. Don't worry about the feet. We've got Walt Anderson, the Big 12 coordinator of officials, in the booth with us. National Football League official since '96, officiated Super Bowl 45 down the road in Dallas. Now, Walt, feet is not a concern here. Both feet were down, so what do you see?
Feet were down, and you can see a momentary loss of control when the ball first comes in. That's why I think it's going to be difficult for them to end up changing the call. Had it been ruled a catch, I think they would have stayed with that as well.
So you think this will be a call that stands on the field?
Yes, and that's probably why the replay official is choosing not to even stop it and look at it, because he knows he's not going to change it.
So Oklahoma State uses a timeout. They do get to talk things over for a second down and 15 from the 22-yard line. Rudolph against the late pressure finds the Cowboy back. Blake Jarwin with a huge Jawan Seals block along the edge.
Heel back block
to open up a couple more yards.
Below the shoulders.
Yeah, you've got your 4 wide receivers with a crossing route. Really good throw, and it's a great block coming back on Ryan Miller. Or Moeller, Ryan Moeller, excuse me, the safety. Right now, Oklahoma State's really got it going on offense, and it's all about the quarterback. And Mason Rudolph is throwing the ball with a lot of accuracy in this ball game.
Tending to a Colorado Buffalo on the sideline, Ryan Moeller.
The other thing that's happening right now, Adam, is Colorado's defense, especially those big guys up front, are out on the field for a lot of plays. And that just wears you down.
Yep. There is some concern right now for Moeller. You saw some of his teammates already down on one knee, including Akello Witherspoon. Ryan Moeller was part of that big play with Juwan Seals. Molly McGrath is down on the field. Molly, what did you see?
Well, Adam, he is awake and conscious. His eyes are open. He was blinking and nodding, responding to the medical training staff. I'll keep you updated as I learn more.
Thank you very much, Molly. Ryan Mollers from Rifle, Colorado. They describe him as country strong. Summer job of stacking 50 to 150 pound hay bales in a barn. So he developed his strength growing up. He was a first team Pac-12 selection as a special teamer. And again, after that big block thrown on him by Juwan Seals.
Ruling on the field is the runner made the line to gain for a first down. That play is under further review.
And again, as Walt will tell us as well, you can review the spot if it involves the goal line or the line to gain. So where did Jarwin step out of bounds? Obviously he made contact with the chalk shy of the 10. Still in bounds there and out of bounds here. So probably the 8-yard line. And again, it also depends on where the ball was when his foot went out of bounds. And good to see Ryan Moller back up on his feet and heading back towards the locker room, walking for the most part under his own power. The line to gain, by the way, was the 7-yard line. And that's why the officials are taking a look at this.
Yeah, they needed to get 7 yards to the 7 for the first down. So I think it may be a little bit short as we start looking at it, but really impressed early in the ball game with Mike Yurcich. Guys came in from Shippensburg as offensive coordinator. It was totally out of the box because Mike Gundy had Dana Holgerson. Then he had Coach Munkin that goes to Southern Miss as a head coach and to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Todd Munkin. And then he brings in a guy from Shippensburg State that nobody ever heard of because he got on the internet and started looking at offenses to see who'd made the most plays and who ran an offense like them.
After further review, the runner was stopped short of the line of the gain. The ball will be placed at the 8-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 1. Please reset the game clock to 8 minutes and 5 seconds. 8:05.
As we thought, about a yard shy of the line to gain. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so this guy's been unbelievable. And Mike probably won't have him long because now he's starting to get a lot of recognition. But they're throwing the ball to a lot of guys tonight, like Jarwin, like Hayes, that are not guys, McCleskey, not guys that we've talked about a whole lot. So they're moving the ball around, and their quarterback, Mason Rudolph, is hot.
And they still have James Washington on the field. And this 3rd down and 1. As they'll work on the ground with Carson, and this will depend on the spot. Big hit by Josh Tupou on the interior along with Samson Kafavalu.
Carson's their big, powerful guy, so when he gets in short yardage, and there was a lot of penetration by Tupou that time, and those big 300-pounders up inside are tough to run the ball against when you're Oklahoma State. Look at that Colorado front.
Again, the line to gain was the 7. One official placing it right at the edge of the 7-yard line. It's the back judge, Gary Dantzwitz.
Looks like it's going to be a little bit short, but if you're Mike Gundy here, you go for it. You go for 4th and inches in a bowl game.
I mean, what a great job by this Colorado front. You said it. Tupou was right there, the first man to make contact. Kafavalu helping push back. Now 4th down and inches, so the offense seems to be out there. What would you want to see here? Just a sneak? Do you want to run it on the ground? What do you want to see?
Well, sneaks are tougher when you're in the shotgun, but I would hand it to the big boy. I'd hand it to Carson. I would try to pull him off sides first, so I'd go long count to see if I can get it. Looks like he may be up under the center, which would be different for them, but if he is, you've got a 6'5", 235-pound guy. It's quarterback sneak.
Rudolph able to backpedal his way to the 5-yard line for the first down. And Chris Carson did a nice job of helping push the pile for his QB to set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, it's a good job of getting out of what you normally do and going up under the center for quarterback sneak. The rule is big change now that Chris Carson can push the quarterback from behind. He can't pull him in, but he can push him up for a first down.
6'5", 235-pound quarterback, too. Mason Rudolph's a big boy as well. First down and goal. And they'll throw one-on-one to Washington against Awuzie. The matchup that the Cowboys have exploited here in the first half.
Yeah, this is so much confidence in your receiver-quarterback combination. He head fakes to the outside, gets inside of Awuzie. You cannot let him get inside. You've got to keep him outside, and you have to make them throw the fade. You can't give him a two-way break. He gave him the slant. There's no help inside.
Ben Grogan on for the extra point. And Oklahoma State has turned it into a 3-score lead. And one of the best in the business is James Washington from Stamford, Texas. Population 3,000. Small town boy, big time player, 17-0. Capital One Bowl Mania continues tomorrow with the Birmingham Bowl. Georgia against TCU, fourth meeting all time. Georgia's won all three. And then the 3:30, it's the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Nebraska and Tennessee for the third time ever. You got to go back to remember that '98 Orange Bowl when Nebraska had a share of the national title. They had to knock off Tennessee to get there. Two great bowl games coming up tomorrow starting at noon Eastern time.
It's going to be fun to watch football. I just love bowl season so much. Nebraska, Tennessee is going to be fun. Be an interesting game to watch.
We'll see what the health of Tommy Armstrong Jr. is going to be. Riker Fife expected to start, but Armstrong was practicing today. Tony Joel-Meese, let's see if Colorado can get better field position. That ball is fumbled loose, and I believe Colorado has it. And now a flag comes flying in late. Jeff Heiser, the lead official, threw the flag. Ramon Richards had the big hit on Joel-Meese to punch that ball loose, but Colorado does have it.
The ball is definitely knocked loose, and
After
they felt
the play,
like
unsportsmanlike conduct against number 9 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. This is number 9, first unsportsmanlike penalty of the game.
And Adam, they talked about Justin Phillips being a nickel or dime or comes in special packages for Oklahoma State. He's also a special teams player. He knocks that ball loose. This is the first time Colorado's going to have good field position, and then you can't come back and have a penalty. A team can't push right there in front of the officials. So their average starting position's been minus 16-yard line. So this is the first time they've had a chance with field position.
After the penalty on Jossie Akem. And the Oklahoma State front makes it happen as Trey Carter, the redshirt sophomore, has his first play for a loss in his Oklahoma State career as Akem gets a talking to from Mike Gundy.
Yeah, they've got some backups in there now that look fresh, and they are coming after it. And Colorado, without their running game, is going to have trouble protecting against these quick guys up front at Oklahoma State. That's just a four-man rush.
Got a very good defensive line. You saw Joe Bob Clemens, the defensive line coach for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And now the defensive line pointing out movement from the offense.
Offense, number 56, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, Adam, Colorado's lost all momentum right now, all their confidence. They're going to have to get Sefo Liufau's going to have to get this thing going because they just have not been able to keep a drive going and move the ball.
The one extended drive ended in the missed field goal by Chris Graham. At that point, it was still 3-0. Oklahoma State has rattled off 2 touchdowns since that missed field goal. So the penalty from Tim Linnott, the redshirt freshman right guard, puts him back to second and nearly a quarter of the field after the sack and the penalty. Liufau against the twist up front, running out of time, stays on his feet, bear claws his way to the 24. Excellent pressure from Darion Daniels and Trey Carter, and Sefo Liufau shake it up again. Remember, the right ankle has been the biggest problem spot this season. He missed 2 games fully earlier during Pac-12 play against Oregon and Oregon State. He re-injured into the Pac-12 championship game, and that's when Steven Montez, during that stretch, had to step in. 2 games started against Oregon and Oregon State, and then had to come in to the Pac-12 title game.
Well, and here's a double X stunt with the tackles going out and the 2 ends coming in. These are your backups with Carter and Daniels in there. They look so quick, they confuse the offensive line of Colorado. And Sefo Lufau could not get back to the line of scrimmage. The Colorado offense is predicated so much on the quarterback running game and his leadership that really hurt him when he came out of the championship game. So right now they're going to lose a big part of their running game with him coming out, and it puts a tremendous amount of pressure on Steven Montez coming in as the young redshirt freshman.
Texas native from El Paso, and Sefo Lufau will gingerly walk back towards the near sideline for the Colorado Buffaloes. This is a spot that Colorado fans have got used to seeing. There is no doubting the toughness of the senior from Tacoma, Washington, Sefo Lufau, but he came into this game having been sacked in his career 71 times. He's had a shoulder injury, a Lisfranc injury, a right ankle injury. More on top of that, and now the crowd gets behind Steven Montez, who's going to check in for the injured Lufau.
Well, you can get behind him, but you're 3rd and 27. I don't want to be calling that play, brother. I can tell you that.
Not a whole lot in the book.
Yeah, that's when you screen, draw something quick, or just sling it deep and hope you get something. It's usually a screen.
Yeah, this is a screen for Lindsey, trying to make up a lot of ground. And Phillip Lindsey to the outside has the first down.
What a play by Lindsey. Comes out, got the screen, got the tough pass rush. Then you've got to tackle in space. And these guys have been tackling well, but they all missed him. Phillip Lindsey, leader, Mr. Attitude, Mr. Energy. Lampkin and Flowers, two of the best defensive backs, missed the tackle in space.
On 3rd and 27, they get 38 from Lindsey, and they go with a trick play for Montez. Going deep, it's an underthrown ball, and it's picked up by Ashton Lampkin. The veteran out of Fort Worth, Texas, in his 55th career game, his first interception of the season, shuts down Colorado's momentum.
Lampkin's a 5-year senior. You've got a quarterback that's a redshirt freshman off the bench. Not sure he's very loose because he had to come in quickly. Not sure I would have called this play at this point, but still, it's like a great punt. Even Everett, the linebacker, that adds on. We talked about the green dog earlier. Got pressure on the young quarterback. He was throwing it. He underthrew it. But still, for Colorado, it's a good play because this is the first time they backed Oklahoma State up. Now Colorado has to stop them, get the short field. They need to get some points out of this next possession. Oklahoma State may sling it deep with their speed.
From the 3-yard line, Rudolph is going to take a shot for Washington, who comes back to the ball, beating Isaiah Oliver. So now it's Oliver getting the assignment against the very difficult to guard Washington. That's 21 yards.
Well, I'm afraid it may be anybody, Adam.
Sure.
I don't want to cover this guy. This guy can run. He can throw. He played 4 sports in high school.
Carson, with a 2nd and 3rd effort, picks up 9 yards on 1st down. And now Oklahoma State with a chance for a major haymaker at the end of this first half. Colorado will get the ball to start half number 2.
Somebody's going to have to make a play on that Colorado defense. They got to knock a ball loose because they couldn't afford to let them get off the goal line here.
Back to the ground and trying to surge ahead is Justice Hill, the freshman, and it looks like he has the first down. Mason Rudolph this season has been very good with deep balls. Awuzie's been beaten a couple of times already in this game, and Molly told you about the turf toe that's been nagging him, so he's back on the sideline right now. Akello Witherspoon and Isaiah Oliver are both the cornerbacks trying to guard against Rudolph, who's 14 of 17. And now Rudolph is going to motion out, and they'll go with the reverse back to Rudolph. Pressure coming, and he'll fire it away. Now, he was in the middle of the field here with the pressure from Jimmy Gilbert.
The ball was thrown in the area of an eligible receiver. Second down.
And they'll rule that there was an eligible receiver out there, so that's why there's no intentional grounding penalty.
And he got hit as he was throwing the ball. He threw it in the right direction. I agree with the call. Jimmy Gilbert, we haven't called his name much, but he was back there for pressure for the first time.
Again, if you're Colorado, you get a couple of stops here to bring up fourth down. You have a chance for a decent drive to try to get points with 3 timeouts at the end of the first half. 4-man Colorado rush, and Rudolph with that long out route finds another man, Chris Lacey, who had a career junior season. He's got the first down across the 45, and Rudolph is on target and on time with just about everything that he has tossed so far.
And on target and on time to a lot of different receivers. They are spreading it out all over the field. And we've got to remember that Jim Leavitt, the defensive coordinator, is at Oregon now. So you've got Joe Tumpkin in there calling defenses for the first time for Colorado.
Here is Hill. Good run off the tackle towards midfield, and he'll work into Colorado territory. Inside of 2:40 to play for this first half.
And that was a big push off to the right side. It's the first time we've really seen them block Colorado up front. Colorado can't afford to give up something here. Joe Tompkins got a lot of pressure on him at this time. Probably he'll have to adjust and do something different on Washington, but they're still moving the ball around.
Give to Hill. Good penetration that time for Colorado from Samson Kafavalu. Redshirt senior in his 43rd career game.
That's what they've got to do. Colorado's got to continue to get pressure and penetration. They've got to get a stop here. It's 3rd down and long. Oklahoma State's got to be smart, but he's going to throw it downfield.
First time that Joe Tumpkin has called the defense since his days as the defensive coordinator at Central Michigan. He's the safeties coach in his 2nd year on staff. Jim Leavitt signed a 4-year deal to become the defensive coordinator at Oregon. Blitz coming from Colorado. Rudolph gets rid of it, looking for Seals. Well defended, but a flag is thrown. Akello Witherspoon, who leads the country in pass defenses, was out there. A flag is thrown.
There is no foul for pass interference. 4th down.
That simply means that one official, Walt, called off the other official. The official,
you can see that he wasn't playing the ball, but what one official had was the fact that there has to be a material restriction, which the other official, from his angle, communicated that to the official that originally threw the flag.
Which is a great job of them working together to make sure they make the right call.
That's the voice of the Big 12 coordinator of officials and Super Bowl referee Walt Anderson with us in the booth tonight. Big stop by Colorado here. Siner, who's an outstanding punter, didn't get a great boot on it, but it gets an excellent roll. And Colorado with 1:19 and 3 timeouts will take over. And after 1:19, we'll have the Buick halftime report. Epic comeback by Virginia Tech over Arkansas in the Belk Bowl. Great game in the Birmingham Bowl between South Florida and South Carolina. And of course, Mac Brown, you're on your way to the Peach Bowl, and we'll have coverage from Atlanta and Glendale as we get set for the college football playoff semifinals. Stan Verrett, Mark May. I'll return your boy to you after tonight. Tim Tebow's filling in for you tonight, Mackie.
Yeah, I'll be out of here early. I'll be in Atlanta, and we'll be talking Washington and Alabama. And then obviously Clemson and Ohio State later on that afternoon.
So here we go. It is Steven Montez for his first full series after the injury to Sefo Liufau. And a whistle blows this play dead for a false start.
False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Jared Coe, who is back for the first time. After missing 3 games with an ankle injury, he's back in at left guard. Jonathan Huckins had filled in for him in his absence.
Tough job for the play callers at Colorado, the 2 offensive coordinators, because you got the young redshirt freshman in. You've got 1:17 left. You're 1st and 15. You don't want to turn the ball over and make it worse. You get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, but you'd like to get something before the half.
On 1st and 15, Montez under pressure just flings it in the direction of Bryce Bobo. Montez feeling the heat coming from Oklahoma State. This is a bend but don't break defense that's very opportunistic with the sacks and takeaways.
Yes, he had no chance that time. Those linebackers were coming. Not great protection, but Gerald Owens was right back in his face. And so far, Colorado's offensive line hasn't shown the ability to block the defenders from Oklahoma State.
Veteran defensive coordinator Glenn Spencer has done a fantastic job of making this an opportunistic defense. Montez has a man over the middle in Shea Fields. And Fields works his way out close to the sticks, about a yard shy. That'll give an opportunity for Colorado's offense to stay out on the field.
And Adam, you need to make this first down. You're going to be 3rd down and 1. Oklahoma State still has 2 timeouts. They're great blocking punts, as you said earlier. So they'll call a timeout if they don't make this first.
And it is Lindsey. Such a tough runner as he works his way to the 31-yard line. Let's see if Colorado will use a timeout here or not. The clock does stop to reset the chains. And there is Sefo Lufau on the sideline dealing with that injury.
First timeout. Colorado. 30-second timeout.
Mike McIntyre will talk things over here. And we remind you that Capital One Bowl Mania will continue on this weekend with the Birmingham Bowl and the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Noon Eastern with Georgia and TCU. Nick Chubb only 4 yards away from passing Todd Gurley for second most yards all time at Georgia behind Herschel Walker. He's going to return along with Sony Michel for their for their next seasons in 2017. Nebraska, Tennessee as well at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Watch ESPN and the ESPN app.
Yeah, the 2 great running backs coming back just made Kirby Smart smarter. They'll be better on offense with those 2 guys. They can both run the ball.
There is Darren Chiaverini, first year at Colorado, the former wide receiver, 39 years of age, one of the co-coordinators for this Colorado offense. Setting up shop with 1st and 10, setting up the screen on the inside for Devin Ross, and working his way right back towards the middle of the field for just 1 yard. And now with 26 seconds to go, Ross is still down on the field, and Mike McIntyre will have to burn a timeout here with the injury to one of his players.
That's great defense by backup Pipkins and big Vincent Taylor. He read the screen, turned, and those guys were tackling it in or outside in. They turned him up inside and made a tremendous tackle in space.
And now Ross being tended to, redshirt junior out of California. And tough landing for Devin Ross. In traffic, Ross seemingly looking at his knee right now.
310 pounds of big Vincent Taylor running the tackle.
Well, injuries have plagued Colorado this year. In the same game, in that game against Michigan, and that was a game, remember, at the Big House that Colorado led in the 3rd quarter.
Rule with the clock running and there is an injury. 10-second runoff applied. Please reset the game clock to 14 seconds. 1-4. The clock will start on my signal.
Now again, we said that Mike McIntyre will have to use a timeout because it's an injury in the final minute of the half, but he's basically opting to let the time run off the clock and say forget about it. We might just want to get to halftime.
Young
so they take the 10-second runoff.
Yeah, young quarterback, not moving the ball well. You've lost your momentum. Just have a player injured, one of your best players. So probably going to take it into the halftime and get the ball to start second half. Smart by Coach McIntyre. Regroup and start over.
Philip Lindsay was getting into it before the halftime break, and the officials have to come in to try to help separate him. And it will be Colorado ball to start half number 2. Nice job by the officials to make sure nothing escalates at the end of this opening half of play. A frustrating first half. And one that leads to a couple of walking wounded for the Buffaloes. Oklahoma State with some impressive offensive series and some big chunk plays to go ahead 17-0, and their head coach is with Molly McGrath.
Thanks, Adam. Coach, you've harped on the importance of your receivers winning those one-on-ones. What's James Washington doing well?
Well, we're getting open. Our protection's been pretty good. Our guys are running good routes. We had a drop there at the wrong time, but we're doing a good job on the man coverage.
Your defense is putting a lot of pressure on Colorado's quarterbacks. What do they need to continue to do?
Well, we've got to mix it up and put some pressure on them. They've made some throws, but we've got to be able to be more effective tackling. We missed some tackles, but if we can continue to put pressure on them, it'll certainly help us.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Molly, thanks very much. Mike Gundy's team looking for a 10th victory this season. They've got the 17-0 lead at the halftime break against Colorado in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Stan Barrett, Mark May, Tim Tebow. We'll have our Buick halftime report coming up.
Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Mania.
Welcome back for the second half of the 24th Valero Alamo Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. Inching closer and closer to the college football playoff on December the 31st. We get set for the start of half number 2. It will be Colorado football trailing 17-0 against Oklahoma State. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath will join us in a moment as well. There were a couple of things that you and I really got our eyes big with when we were prepping for this game. One of them was one-on-one matchups. We knew that would be big, especially for Oklahoma State's offense against Colorado's defense. And so far, advantage OSU.
Well, the Colorado defensive backs are as good as anybody in the country.
Sure.
We knew that. You lose your defensive coordinator to Oregon in Jim Levitt. You've got Tumpkin calling defenses for the first time, and you got to try to cover Washington one-on-one. So he gets an outside release and jumps up with power and catches the ball. They back off of him, and he catches an out. He can outrun anybody deep, and he's done that all year for touchdowns. And then you play a little bit more outside, and he beats you inside. And very impressive, Mason Rudolph, 15 of 20 in that first half for 192 yards. He has been on fire. So for Colorado, they're sitting here. Got a defensive back that's hurt, one of their best ones. Got a redshirt freshman quarterback. Coach McIntyre's got to stir them up, get something going on this first drive. Maybe take a trick play, maybe fake a punt or something, but they need to get points on this drive to get right back in this ball game.
Matt Amendola will kick it to Kyle Evans out of the back of the end zone. Molly, what is the status of Colorado's QBs?
Well, Adam, Sefo Lufau will not be playing in this second half. Mike McIntyre told me that his right ankle injury is too severe. They do deem him questionable to return, though, in case something else happens. But Steven Montez, he said he has full support of him. He has confidence that he can get their offense going. And as for wide receiver Devin Ross, he is probable to return with a left knee injury. He's walking pretty gingerly on that leg, though, Adam.
Thank you very much, Molly. There is Steven Montez, who did have the interception on a trick play in that first half on a long ball that was underthrown. So the redshirt freshman is out there, and Devin Ross is on the left side of the formation for Colorado. They fake the swing pass, and they'll look for Ross immediately. Good coverage over the middle by Trey Flowers. And Ross, as Molly mentioned, was walking around a little bit gingerly. He was a little slow to get up after that play. He's got that knee brace on his left knee. It is Montez's game, as it has been multiple times this year, with Lufau going down with injury. Play action, and there's the pressure from Oklahoma State's front. We'll dump it off for Philip Lindsay in space. And Lindsay will do a good job of getting very close to the sticks. The line to gain was the 35. He got right near there.
Had another X stunt up front. When you start looking at bringing the linebacker Whitener and then sitting there with Vincent Taylor. Lufau's on the sideline. He's a great leader. Young guy makes a really good play. Montez, redshirt freshman. I'm really impressed so much with Philip Lindsay. Energy, toughness, attitude. Captain as a junior. Kids love him. One of those guys is going to have to make a play to help this young redshirt freshman quarterback.
And it will be Montez running, and a great job by Jarrell Owens, the redshirt sophomore. Another Texas native on this Oklahoma State roster, swinging him down. That brings up 4th down, and just like that, here comes the punting unit for Colorado.
It's impressive that Oklahoma State is able to roll too deep in that defensive line, and you can't see a lot of difference. Glenn Spencer has done a tremendous job since early in the year when they were giving up big plays with the Oklahoma State defense.
They've gotten significantly better as the year has gone on. Alex Kinney will punt once again to Jalen McCleskey. Very good kick. Deep and high with hang time, and a fair catch at the 25 for McCleskey on a 42-yard punt. Mason Rudolph, very sharp in that first half, just 5 incompletions, making his 28th career start. Only quarterback in the country coming into this game with more than 3,500 yards and less than 6 interceptions. No surprise that for the most part he was accurate, and remember, a couple of those drops were on some deeper balls.
And Coach Gundy told us when he's been good, they've been good. And tonight they've been able to stay balanced. They run the ball, but he's spreading the ball around as a very accurate passer.
First down, give to Justice Hill. The freshman was so impressive this year, just a yard on that play, but when you break records held by Mark Hamilton and Thurman Thomas, you've done something right at Oklahoma State. Broke Thurman Thomas's true freshman rushing record, did Hill. And off the play fake to him, Rudolph fires and finds McCleskey. Another impressive throw and catch by McCleskey.
Yeah, run on first down, fake the off-tackle play on second down. It affects the linebacker. Gambino steps up, throws it right behind him. Gamboa, excuse me.
Play action fake. Rudolph going deep. Washington, that's been his man all year long and all night tonight. James Washington to the 10.
Got 2 really good players on him too. You got Isaiah Oliver and Tedrick Thompson there, and he just jumps up and high points the ball and catches it between the 2 really good defenders.
And the Oklahoma State offense continues to go with tempo with Hill. What did Molly tell us about James Washington? 50-50 balls in traffic. They're more like 80-20 when it's James Washington at the receiving end.
And he's getting a lot of help from his quarterback, and they're running the ball well enough that they're also protecting well.
The most yards allowed to a receiver by Colorado this season. One single receiver, 162 yards for James Washington. That's his 12th career 100-yard game. He's got a couple 200-yard games too.
And remember, for the fans, those 2 are coming back next year.
Yep, he and Mason Rudolph. On the ground with Carson. And they'll shut down the play at about the 8-yard line. Washington's got more yards through the air than Colorado does as an offense right now. That gives you some perspective on how good he and Rudolph have been as a combination this far.
And the Colorado bunch isn't going to lay down, because this is a senior class that came in as freshmen for Coach McIntyre. They've been tough. They've had a tremendous year. I think we'll see them keep fighting here through the second half.
Big 3rd down here, though, for Colorado's defense to try to hold Oklahoma State to a field goal. Play fake. Rudolph with time. Extends the play. Still looking to the end zone. And he'll fire towards the side of it, looking for Austin Hayes. Good job by the coverage unit of Colorado to make it tough on Rudolph to find anybody.
And now if you're Oklahoma State, you take the field goal. You want the points. Good job by Colorado getting the stuff, but Colorado's having trouble scoring. So get all the points you can get and make the Colorado offense do a better job of moving the ball and trying to get points.
The senior from Arlington, Texas, one of 71 Texas natives on this Oklahoma State roster. It's the most Texas natives on any roster for a school outside the state of Texas. But that one a little tight and wide to the left. Like Ben Grogan with a surprising miss. He's 18 of 23 this year. He's typically on target from this distance. Laces were out. Pretty much a chip shot field goal. And Colorado gets away unscathed. For River City, San Antonio, River Center, on on a beautiful night in December. A lot of tourists here in San Antonio. And early third quarter, Colorado shut out in the first half, trying to get their offense going. And it is still Steven Montez, the redshirt freshman, to come into the second quarter after an injury to Sefo Lufau at the controls. Good cut by Philip Lindsay, and he'll work his way for a yard.
Adam, the offensive coordinators now for the Buffaloes. The coordinators have got to go back. It looks like Ross isn't in the game. He looked like he was limping bad on the first series back. They've got to stay balanced because they can't block the Oklahoma State front just by dropping back and pass. So they need a slow, methodical drive here for a touchdown.
Montez to try to throw, looking for Bobo, a little bit too tall. Good coverage that time from Trey Flowers. Molly, you've been tracking the status of Devin Ross on the sideline.
Yeah, that's right, Adam. Before this drive, Darren Chiaverini went up to Devin Ross, who, as Max said, was limping pretty badly with that left knee injury, and Ross just shrugged. So Chiaverini turned to Lee Walker and said, "You're in."
Lee Walker, who has not had the type of production that Devin Ross has. The team's leading pass catcher with a career-high 66 catches coming into action in this Valero Alamo Bowl.
Now they're going to come after the young one.
Now look at the pressure. They're going to bring 6. Montez, with time running out, will just sling it for Bobo. Incomplete. Coverage from Ramon Richards. And Montez unable to move the ball down the field. Another 3 and out. The 4th of the game for Colorado. An improved offensive unit, but no Sefo Lufau, and Montez struggling to stay comfortable in some of this Oklahoma State pressure. Alex Kinney, good deep punt, forcing McCleskey back with a fair catch. At the 29-yard line, we talked about Mason Rudolph and James Washington. Very good players, and they had a big announcement this week for their fans.
Hey, Cowboy fans, we're down here in San Antonio preparing for our game on Thursday. It's coming quickly. We hope you guys are as excited as we are. We just wanted to let you guys know that both James and I will be returning for our senior year. We're excited and can't wait for what the future brings. Let's go Pokes.
Got a chance to talk to both of them this week, and they both feel like they want one more year to prepare for the next level. James Washington wants to finish out his degree as well. As this drive starts in the 29 with a run to the right for Justice Hill, and it's rare, Mac, at this time of college football. It's impressive to see. Obviously, Washington has had a big game tonight, but he's going to be back for another year.
Yeah. Made a lot of coaches sick in the Big 12 when they heard that. I can promise you, but not the Oklahoma State coaches. What a great Christmas present for them. You love to see kids wanting to come back. They're coming back to the university. They're coming back to get their education. They want to have another year and finish strong.
The topic has obviously been very obvious and talked about over the course of these last several weeks. As Rudolph with a great misfire for Jarwin, with players skipping bowl games, not wanting to play in that extra game as they prepare for the next level. And this is rare to see. We're not saying it's the right or wrong thing for players not to want to play, but it's a different thing to see with talented guys like Rudolph, who, by the way, was a top 10 Piper prospect for a good chunk of the year coming back.
Well, and great message to everybody about Mike Gundy and his program that they were excited enough about next year to come back.
A lot of targets for Mason Rudolph to throw to next season. He's got 4 of them in the pattern now. And James Washington is one of them, making the catch in front of Isaiah Oliver for the first down.
Came back that time, had pressure from the field. They backed off because they don't want to play him up close. They've had trouble bump and run. Rudolph gets the ball out of his hands quickly.
It's Carson with a flag thrown from the near sideline. The cut by Carson, and he gets closed out quickly by Rick Gamboa. But we'll check the penalty marker from Jeff Heiser.
Illegal substitution, defense. More than 12 on the field, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
A frustrating one for Mike McIntyre, I'm sure.
Well, and that can happen again. You lost your coordinator. You lose Jim Levitt. You got new guys with substitution. You got things that are happening. You've got your best corner hurt.
Talk to me about chain of command when it comes to substitutions and things like that.
Well, the head coach yells at everybody that doesn't get 11 out there. I can tell you that, because I always used to say fans can count. They know when you got 12 and they know when you got 10. And neither one are good, brother. So get 11 out there. That's not hard to do. So that's a bad mistake by the Buffalo defense. And they made a really good play. I mean, Gamboa and Moeller stopped the guy, so it's just a wasted play.
Keeping it on the ground with Hill. Seeking space up the middle, and down he goes with a Josh Topu hit. About 1.5 yards shy of the line to gain.
And you don't need to give Oklahoma State a 1st and 5.
No. Could be in shot position here on 2nd and short, and indeed they'll go play fake. Faking the screen. And Rudolph with nothing downfield will pick up the 1st down with a Moeller hit closing him out at the 48-yard line. And now penalty markers come flying in late. I think with Rudolph going down, perhaps fans believe that there should have been a late hit penalty, perhaps unnecessary roughness.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 25, 15-yard penalty, 1st down. Previous play is under further review.
So again, is it forcible contact above the shoulders? Is it forcible contact to the head or neck area? Is there any type of launch? And you see on that angle, contact above the neck, above the shoulders to the head or neck, with that right forearm, right elbow kind of going into the helmet of Mason Rudolph. Again, the Big 12 coordinator of officials, Walt Anderson, is in the booth with us providing some insight. Walt, what did you see?
Yeah, from one angle it looks like it might be shoulder, but from this angle that we just see here, it looks like you're right, Adam, that the right forearm may get him right in the head, and it looks like it is forcible. It's probably going to be one that they're going to stand.
There was no other penalty. It was only a targeting penalty, but
correct.
I would agree with Walt on this. That would likely stand because, again, forcible contact above the shoulders. And Ryan Moeller's a really good player. We saw him get banged up in the 1st half and continue to play. And a secondary that has been called the money gang by this group. They have been phenomenal this year with Witherspoon and Thompson and Awuzie and Laguda providing good snaps. And obviously Moeller in special teams and other facets, they're starting to get a little thin on the back end.
Well, and Coach Gundy told us they play a tighter man in the Pac-12 than they do in the Big 12. So he was really concerned about being able to get off bump and run. But James Washington has taken care of that really well tonight.
Yeah, again, with this matchup, what we kind of looked at was the deep balls against the great coverage. Forcible contact to the head or neck area. I believe that first one is what we're going to look at here to maintain the call that was targeting against Ryan Moeller. Likely he'll be ejected from this game.
After further review, there is no foul for targeting. The result of the play is a 1st down.
Now, well, again, Walt Anderson is with us in the booth. Why do you think they took that penalty away, considering what you and I and everybody in the booth saw?
Well, it all ends up boiling down to the definition of forcible contact to the head and neck area. And what the replay official must have felt was that you can't have contact to the head that is deemed incidental. And that's what he, as he looked at it from all angles, felt that it most likely was. And you want to be sure that if you're going to eject a player, you want to be absolutely certain that it's correct.
So no targeting penalty. That's a big break for Colorado. It looked to be something that we've seen be called a targeting in other games, as Rudolph will run it again. That's why I was a little surprised by it, Walt, more than anything else, just because we've seen players get ejected for far less, and now a penalty marker comes flying in here at the end of this play. A busy few snaps for Jeff Easer and his crew.
After the play, personal foul, defense number 54, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Samson Kapavalu.
There's Coach Jeffcoat. Jim Jeffcoat, his son, played for us. Jackson Jeffcoat getting all over him. You can't lose your composure. You're a senior. Things aren't going well. You've had a tremendous year. But in this ball game, don't let them get to you. You can't afford the 15-yard penalty.
Things very slowly coming apart for Colorado. And Rudolph goes right back to his favorite target, James Washington. This time the sophomore from Arizona, Isaiah Oliver. was solid in coverage to prevent Washington from snaring one.
The coaches love Isaiah Oliver. He's got length at 6'1", 190. He's a track star. He covers him perfectly. He gets his eyes back to the ball and reaches his hand up to knock it loose. That's probably the best coverage we've seen on Washington for the night. Really good job by Oliver.
And I bet you that Joe Tumpkin's looking for anybody who can stay with James Washington over the course of the night tonight for an extended period of time. Does Colorado have a takeaway in him? Rudolph doesn't give him up a whole lot. He rifles one looking for McCleskey, and it's a little bit too long, and that brings up 3rd down and 10.
Very good coverage by the Buffaloes. They had the double move to the split inside, and he turned back and tried to hit the seam up inside. But Tedrick Thompson and Laguda were all over it.
Wow, look at James Washington. I think they were looking at his hand momentarily, and with the way he's reacting, I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they had to pop something back in. My goodness. Hard to doubt any toughness for Washington out on the sideline right now. Obialo has checked in for Washington, and they'll go with a draw play for Carson, and the first down inside the 15.
Draw play, show pass, 3rd down and long. Laguda misses the tackle in space. Carson's been really good for this football team.
Right back to him. And he muscles his way to the 11-yard line. 2nd down coming up as we duck inside of 7 minutes to play for the 3rd.
Adam, they said Carson was sitting around. Players said, why don't you run over somebody? You're tough in that weight room. And we call you Hercules. And he started running over people, being much more physical.
You see James Washington being taken back towards the locker room. Rudolph without his favorite target on the field, but plenty of weapons. And that 4-receiver set.
Changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Colorado's just bringing 4.
And here is Justice Hill scampering between the tackles and down to about the 7. Kenneth Olabode on the stop. Athletic linebacker. And now James Washington gets to the tunnel, and he'll be tended to back in the locker room.
I think we'll see him at 4 downs here, Adam. I think you'll see Mike Gundy could run the ball again, could try to throw fade or hitch, but probably to Carson.
They've run it 28 times. They've passed it 28 times.
Got the H-back in the backfield.
The fake to Carson. They throw it to the H-back, the Cowboy back, and Blake Jarwin to the pylon for an Oklahoma State touchdown.
Great call.
You thought he was happening?
Everybody's sitting here talking about Carson. Carson, you fake it to Carson, and then you get a rub inside. But it looked like that might have been a little bit more than a rub when you start looking at seals, because that could have been a block. So you can see Coach Mack's all over that one.
I think that's exactly what Mike McIntyre is arguing to Jeff Heiser right now.
And I totally agree.
Meanwhile, Addison Gillum is being tended to, and Mike McIntyre is hot. Again, Walt Anderson, you've had a busy quarter to talk with us. Walt, obviously, that could clearly be considered a pass interference, a pick play that a lot of defensive coordinators are very upset about. But what's the timing that leads to a penalty on what is, quote-unquote, a pick play?
The key is going to be here in terms of where the line of scrimmage. You can see here that the ball is caught right at the line of scrimmage. And so when the ball is caught at or behind the line of scrimmage, it's legal to be blocking downfield.
You can block downfield when the ball's thrown behind the line. And again, on that particular play, if it's right at the line of scrimmage, I imagine that's what Jeff Heiser was probably telling Mike McIntyre.
Right. But by definition, that line of scrimmage, it's expanded up to a yard because it's right there at that point. And so when officials look at it, the entire body of the receiver has to be beyond the line of scrimmage.
And that's an important mechanic to keep in mind about a play like that. The officials will give some leeway on that. And Jarwin, after all of that, ends up with the ball, ends up in the end zone, and Oklahoma State ends up in front 24-0.
The Valero Alamo Bowl, brought to you by Valero, the power of the American dream. and the Campbell's Chunky Everyman All-Star League. Visit everymanleague.com.
Two beautiful campuses for both Colorado and Oklahoma State, established in the late 1800s. These two teams started playing against each other in football in 1920, meeting for the first time since 2009 when they stopped being conference rivals. And a 24-0 lead for Oklahoma State. And there is Sefo Lufau, who went just 6 of 10 for 53 yards, got banged up. Seemingly a right leg injury in that first half that forced him out and brought Steven Montez back in. But if I didn't know any better, Sefo Lufau looks like he's ready to come into the game with his helmet on the sideline. Brought out by Kyle Evans. The redshirt sophomore out of San Jose will take it out across the 25. And this is what we saw in the first half that forced Sefo Lufau out of this game. Big physical quarterback has been banged up all year and throughout his entire career. Molly McGrath, Mike McIntyre told you that he wouldn't start the second half, that he was questionable to come in. Here he comes.
Yeah, Adam, they would not rule him out. And during that last drive, Lufau was really frustrated watching. He immediately popped up, started throwing the football, warming himself up, and went over to a trainer.
And here he is, trying to make some heroics happen for a Colorado team trailing 24-0 on a day that's been filled with comebacks. Do the Buffaloes have one in them as Bryce Bobo gets hit at the 31 by Ramon Richards?
Adam, there's been 8 possessions by the Buffaloes tonight. 4 of them are 3 and outs. Only the one drive had 14 plays. So if you're Sefo Lufau, you're the leader, you're the guy, you're the senior, you're going to go back in there and try to give them a spark.
And could Lindsey do it as well? Philip Lindsey works his way to the 36. Hit by Edison Magruder. 5 minutes to go here in the third.
Big third down because you need to stay on the field. You got to get some confidence. You got your guy back out there. This is a critical play for them to try to get their third down and 2. I think you probably see something to the slot, even though they've lost their slot guy.
And Devin Ross, typically they will go with quarterback run, so Lufau going right back into the fire. That is that front of Oklahoma State, and he gets the first down.
You know what's amazing about this guy? He's big and he's strong, but he's so tough. He's got a hurt ankle. He's running the quarterback power on third down and 2. Good for him. Here's a guy that's a senior. He's not worried about it. He's playing in the Senior Bowl. He's out there trying to get back in this ball game for his team.
Yeah, he has accepted an invite to it. Fumble on the exchange. Nice snare by Lindsey. And he will survive for a loss of a yard on the play. Traylon Weber was there to help make the stop.
Once again, a lot of penetration up inside. And you've got to be careful. If you're Philip Lindsey, you see your eyes are up. And then Sefo pushed the ball through. Got to be a better exchange in the backfield.
A large lack of rhythm for this Colorado offense today. It has been tough to sustain drives. Empty set, 5 receivers. Now bringing a man in motion. And Donovan Lee, and Lufau has nothing there because Jarrell Owens is in the backfield to force him into a loss of 2. And this front for the Cowboys continues to make life hard on the Buffaloes.
Jarrell Owens has been impressive tonight. Once again, it's just a 4-man line. Benson Taylor has a lot of penetration. Just gave a chance to slow the quarterback down enough that Owens could make the tackle for a loss. Now you're third down and 13 and in trouble trying to protect against the blitz of Oklahoma State.
Joe Bob Clemens, the defensive line coach, Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator. And what a job they've done so far today to shut out Colorado.
Looks like they're coming.
We've got a spy out there as well. The pass is shy of the line to gain, caught by Lee Walker, who's helping fill the void left by Devin Ross. But it'll be 4th down and 1 here. And I can't imagine you don't have the offense out of the field. So clearly they're going to go for it.
Yeah, it's a great block by Philip Lindsey. Again, you'll probably try to draw him off sides because that gives you the first down. But if not, you're going to go for this 4th down, try to get back to the game.
And they're bringing in their jumbo package. George Frazier, who's a tight end fullback hybrid. Sean Irwin, the tight end, is coming in here. Colorado 15 of 27 coming into this game on 4th down. And it is Lou foul. Stacked up. Initial spot looks to be shy of the line to gain, and the Cowboy defense may have come up with another huge stop. Jeff Heiser might want a measurement on this particular spot, but from where we're standing, from where we're looking, and it's pretty close to our line of sight near midfield, it looks to be short.
If you're on that sideline and you're the Buffalo coach, you're saying, don't stretch that thing too far.
Oklahoma State ball near midfield. And Joe Bob Clemens has seen his defensive line come up with big play after big play after big play.
Defensive coordinator Glenn Spencer talked about Justin Phillips coming in and making plays as a backup linebacker. You can see there's a little penetration, but still made it to the line of scrimmage, and that young linebacker is all over it to stop him for the first down.
Approaching 2 minutes to play in the third. It is all Cowboys right now. The awesome, amazing, wonderful folks of AutoZone will bring you the Liberty Bowl at noon Eastern between Georgia and TCU, and then Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, Nebraska, and number 21 Tennessee. Great matchups, considering some of the rough spots for these teams over the course of the season. I mean, they set up some really good matchups for tomorrow. Good doubleheader to start at noon Eastern on ESPN. And we've showed you Darren Chiaverini at times tonight. Brian Lindgren just as frustrated, the other offensive coordinator for this Colorado offense.
It's tough when you got 4th and 1. You've got to make the 4th and 1 to try to stay in this ball game. So good stop, Oklahoma State.
And they're near midfield. In plus territory for Justice Hill. But ahead of Steve Run as Gillum brings him down. You've been a play caller. You're an offensive coordinator for a long time. You call plays while you're a head coach. When it's not working, I mean, what do you tell your guys? How are you feeling right now when you're in the booth?
You just keep trying any little thing you can to change it up. They tried to go for 4th and 1 there. I would have gone for it. Coach McIntyre made a good decision. You tried the trick play earlier that didn't work. It's an interception with your young quarterback. A lot of your offense is running Lou foul, your senior, and now he can't run as effectively. So you're really in a tough spot against a defense that's really quicker than you are up front. So you can't just drop back and start throwing the ball.
And now Oklahoma State running the ball effectively. Hill with a good run there. Carson checks in for him. We'll keep it on the ground with Carson turning the corner. Good penetration that time by Ryan Moeller as we check in with Molly McGrath on the sideline.
Yeah, Adam, I was back by Oklahoma State's locker room, and James Washington's parents came back to see him, and I'm told that he's out for the rest of this game with a left hand injury.
I mean, we saw it, and I mean, fingers aren't supposed to bend that way, and we saw James Washington need to be tended to on the sideline, and it looked to be the training staff popping his finger back into place, and you saw the pain on his face while he was going through that. So it's a tough spot to be in, but as Molly just told you, he's done.
Young guys that play college football are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
They're tough. They love their team. They fight for their team. They want to get back out there and play. It's really special to be around them. Of all the things I miss the most about coaching, it's about the young players.
I can see that. You talk about it with passion, and we get to see that kind of play itself out, both of these teams in this contest. Play action fake for Rudolph, going towards the end zone. It is caught inbounds by Jawan Seals. A gorgeous strike from Rudolph, and the Cowboy route is on in San Antonio.
Come back, you got one-on-one to the top of the field. You've got Isaiah Oliver again, and it's a little head shake outside. Skinny post by Seals for the touchdown.
Possession, foot in bounds, and completed the process all the way through. Ball in both hands secured, got the foot in bounds. That's a very impressive catch, and Rudolph put that in just about as perfect of a spot as you could put a football on a throw like that.
Rudolph is so very impressive. They run the ball. They run the ball. You got great protection. Perfect throw for the touchdown.
(31-0) Oklahoma State. Final play of the third quarter after a touchback sends the Colorado offense out to the 25-yard line. Cepho Lufau, a little too tall, almost picked off by Lindsey Pipkins, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
A top 12 matchup, and Oklahoma State has come to play 3 quarters down. Off to the fourth quarter we go here at the Alamo Bowl, presented by Valero. It's been a fun night if you're wearing orange and black tonight. Bowl season continuing with Capital One Bowl Mania, with the New Year's Day games that are actually the day after New Year's Day because it's Sunday for New Year's Day, so we'll play them on a Monday. We've got some good ones: the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, the Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual, and then the All-State Sugar Bowl. We got a chance to see Western Michigan, really talented group of 5 team. Oklahoma, very impressive win against Oklahoma State to close out their season. You see James Washington, as Molly told you, the left hand injury. James and Krista are James's parents, and they escorted him out of the tunnel. So he's done his part today, Mac, I would say, in a 31-0 lead.
Another thing that doctors do so well, they get the parents, if they're here, immediately to the dressing room so they can see the young man, see their son, talk about his injury,
right?
Make sure everything's okay. I
mean, if you're a parent, you see your son getting tended to, the first thing you're thinking is the worst, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Good to see James Washington back out there. Lee Walker with a good catch in traffic on a good Lufau throw. And he's out to the 36-yard line, gain of 11 yards.
And we know that Cepho Lufau has a sore foot, and it's hard to step and throw. So give him a lot of credit for being out there trying to bring his team back.
That right leg is his drive leg. So he steps with the left and has to drive off that back foot to try to fire. Incomplete on this particular pass to Shea Fields. We said it, there's no denying the toughness of Cepho Lufau, but his issues, Devin Ross is out. The Oklahoma State defense, it's all led to just shy of 200 yards offense to them.
And the same thing happened to him in the championship game against Washington. He hurt his foot. Same thing happened at Michigan.
There's Lindsey turning the corner. Good job to stay in bounds for some extra yards.
We were so impressed the way these guys love Coach McIntyre. They came when Colorado was not winning at all, and then they fought for 3 years and struggled. He was on the hot seat. He's made these guys believe in him. They're guys that continue to fight, and that's why they're out there right now trying to still get back in this ball game somehow in the fourth quarter.
Lufau on third down, too long and incomplete. It will bring up fourth down, but you bring up a good point. We talked a little bit about it at the beginning. Mike McIntyre, a lot of people were calling for his head in Boulder, Colorado, and you think, well, we got to get rid of him. It's been 3 years. When is it going to change? But veteran group, veteran quarterback, a lot of explosive guys in the offensive end, and the defense, led, of course, by Jim Leavitt, who has since departed. There was a lot of hope for this team, and sure enough, Pac-12 South champion. This is a tough close the last couple of games, but impressive stuff from the Buffaloes this year. Going forward on fourth down and 4. Lufau complete. He finds Shea Fields, first down to midfield and to the 49.
And give Coach McIntyre credit. Heck with a score. We're going to keep trying to make a first down and win this thing. So he throws the slant, comes back underneath. Very, very good reception by Shea Fields. Guys are still competing, and they're doing that for Coach McIntyre. Yeah, he went from the hot seat to hot coach. We said that earlier, but he could have gone a lot of different places, and he stayed with his university.
Lufau. Wobbly throw caught by Lindsey in space. Irving's out there to give him the block. There goes Philip Lindsey. And wrapped up inside the 10. Good job by Stearns to close the play out, but that was a much-needed boost for the Buffs.
Yeah, it's still a quarterback pressure by Owens, but good by Cepho as he stands back there tall and steps as he got hit. Throws the ball on the flare to Philip, and Philip's a really good football player. Philip Lindsey's a competitor.
80 yards tonight. for Colorado's offense have come on 2 screen passes to Philip Lindsay, where he's done most of the damage after the catch. There's Lufau on the move, and he gets stopped up shy of the 5-yard line. Stearns, that excellent safety, the hard hitter. First team all Big 12 selection, one of the best tacklers in the league. Love to see that too. He and Lufau going head to head. A little tap on the helmet for both of them.
Well, and Jordan Stearns is from Stibolo Seal High School up here, just up the road a little bit. So he's from this area. He loves Malcolm Brown, running back that played for us in Texas. They're best friends, but he is one tough safety at 200 pounds.
Quite the hit on D.D. Westbrook in that.
Absolutely.
He blew up Westbrook.
He is a hitter.
Blitz coming from Oklahoma State late. Lufau wrapped up, brought down back at the 15 by Vincent Taylor. Team leader in sacks, the most productive interior defensive lineman in Oklahoma State history.
Yes, and then you see the add-on late by Devontae Everett. So they've got them both back there, but Taylor is a great 2-gap guy. He just dominates the line of scrimmage, and he's still quick enough to get back there on pass rush.
He's a San Antonio native as well. 3rd down and goal. They go right back to the screen for Lindsay with blockers in front of him. He got hit initially by Justin Phillips and then closed out by DeQuinton Osborne. And that will work them to the 6-yard line, just shy of the 5. It'll be 4th down and goal coming up here for Colorado.
You need touchdowns now. You don't need field goals.
Yep.
So you go for it.
Yep, of course.
And I think we'll probably see a slant to the inside guys, a quick outer slant, or maybe a fade up top to number 4 Bobo outside down here to the bottom.
4-man rush against Lufau, who fires, looking for Fields, incomplete. Richards with the coverage. And Oklahoma State takes over on downs.
DeQuinton Osborne got penetration, hit Lufau, and was throwing the ball, didn't give him a chance.
Oklahoma State's defense, bend but don't break all year, the coaching staff told us. They have been outstanding tonight. Friday, December the 30th, that's tomorrow. It's the Capital One Orange Bowl. Excellent NFL caliber talent, including Jabril Peppers and Dalvin Cook, as number 6 Michigan takes on number 11 Florida State from Miami, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN, the ESPN app, and watch ESPN as we get a look at the Bowl Challenge Cup, brought to you by Progressive. Last year, the SEC came out on top at 9-2 in postseason play, but 1-4 thus far. ACC looking very good, 5-1, including that impressive comeback today by Virginia Tech in the Belk Bowl. Oklahoma State takes over on downs from its own 5-yard line. And the 6'5" junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, Northwestern High School's Mason Rudolph, 21 years of age, takes over once again. He's been sharp tonight. Rennie Childs, who had that big game against Pittsburgh earlier this season, running it. 4 touchdowns in what was a back-and-forth game in Stillwater against the Panthers, part of what has been a 9-win Oklahoma State season. Mason Rudolph approaching 300 yards through the air. As 2nd down and 9. Handles a bit of a wide snap, throws the out route, puts it in a spot where only Jawan Seals can catch it. That's been the story all night for Rudolph.
Yeah, he's had quite a night. Before that pass, 294 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes to 3 different receivers. Even has a 24-yard reception. He has been the guy tonight for Oklahoma State.
Ran very similar offensive concepts at Northwestern High School, and that's why he seemingly was a perfect fit. As soon as he took over as the starter late in 2014, they actually burned his red shirt in a rain-soaked game on the road in Waco and made him the starting quarterback. He's been the starter for all but 1 game since. As Child stretches left. I'll set up 2nd down after a gain of about 2 yards. Mike Yursich told us he recruited in his first week on the job as the offensive coordinator. He found Mason Rudolph out in South Carolina, said, I need this guy.
Said he was looking at top guys across the country. You call them, see if they're interested, see if you have chemistry. He was both. He also looked at Virginia Tech and LSU. But coach found him and said, come on, you need to help me.
Lacey the catch, but a flag thrown on the snap. There is Mike Yurcich in his fourth year.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Mike Yurcich has been the play caller all 4 seasons that he's been on the job. As we mentioned, coming over from Division II Shippensburg. Mike Gundy just found the stats online, liked the numbers, looked at some tape. Mike Yurcich told us that Mike Gundy called Shippensburg and asked for tape, and somebody thought that they were getting pranked. They're like, yeah, whatever, Mike Gundy wants to look at tape of our offense? What are you talking about? Sure enough, Mike Gundy was looking for a coordinator when Todd Monken left to take the Southern Miss job.
Mike has been confident enough as a coach to go out of the box and do whatever he thinks he needs to do, and it's worked.
Rudolph into a tough spot this time, but there is Seals. One of those 3 men with a touchdown grab tonight to make the catch. And that'll set up third down and a makeable 2.
And you'll see Oklahoma State really try to slow down and have what we call a 4-minute offense, but they've got a lot of good skill guys. Woo. It's not just Washington.
Man.
What a catch by Seals, who just caught a very impressive touchdown a few minutes ago.
Jawan Seals, career high season in yardage for him, the redshirt senior out of Port Arthur, Texas. 49th career game. So they're going to lose him, but Washington's coming back. McCleskey, Lacey, and don't forget they get Marcel Aitman back from injury. He missed this entire season with a foot injury. Lacey kind of pushed Chidobe Awuzie. They might rule this as an uncatchable pass. A little long from Rudolph that time, and that'll bring up 4th down and 2. I look at Walt Anderson. He gives me a nod, so I feel like I didn't make a fool out of myself anytime Walt gives me the seal of approval.
Everybody's in kind of a tough position now. 8:19 left.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious, unless a miracle changes here, that Oklahoma State's going to win this game. Colorado's still got to fight and compete. Oklahoma State's trying to slow the clock down and get the game over with. Officials are being smart, letting the clock run anytime we can.
A good punt by Siner. Gives the ball to Colorado. 8:06 to play.
The Valero Alamo Bowl, brought to you by Valero, the power of the American dream. Visit San Antonio, where you'll find great sports all year round. And the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
Some of the past winners of this Valero Alamo Bowl, including I saw a sprite-looking Mac Brown with, I think that was Kenny Vaccaro, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Kenny Vaccaro and Marquise Goodwin. Kenny played great throughout that ball game, and Marquise caught a late touchdown to beat Oregon State.
And the balloons are ready to drop for the winner of this game, which will be determined at 8:06, and it looks to be in control for Oklahoma State. Trying to make it a double-digit win season once again under Mike Gundy. Sefo Lufau feeling some pressure, but a good pass to the sideline. Caught by Fields, and he's got the first down. You know, I know Colorado fans are going to be really disappointed by the last couple of weeks. The Pac-12 championship game.
Roughing the passer. Defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Mote Maile at the end of that play got called for a hit on Lufau. Yep.
Okay, turns it loose. You got to leave the quarterback alone. Sefo Lufau is one tough young man.
Yep.
Got a tremendous amount of pride to continue to play for his team.
And we talked about it. No fans are going to be disappointed by this performance, but the heart you see from a lot of these Colorado players, and we got a chance to bookend their season. We see game 1 against Colorado State. We see their finale against Oklahoma State. We keep talking about the toughness of a lot of these guys. There's Bobo in space. And he'll take it to the 40-yard line. Sefo Lufau gets his toughness from his dad, Joe. Dad Joe's from American Samoa. He joined the U.S. Army at age 18. We talk about his toughness, but injuries have been piling up over the course of the last few weeks, and now it's Bryce Bobo. They had to replace Nelson Spruce, the all-time leading pass catcher in Pac-12 history. He had 294 of them before he finished his career. Bryce was Nelson Spruce's roommate, so he had a big load to carry, and he came up with a career-high season with 40-plus catches. And look at George Frazier, the do-everything redshirt junior, helping carry his teammate off the field. I guarantee you somebody took a photo of that, and that's going to be hung up somewhere. And that's going to be posted somewhere. That was an impressive moment by some impressive young men. Lufau back to the air, bobbled, juggled, and down to the deck. Incomplete with Jay McIntyre in traffic. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
And Adam, you said it about the Colorado football program. Colorado is a team that's on the rise now. They've got a lot of guys coming back next year, a lot of really good juniors. And young McIntyre bobbled the ball. These Oklahoma State guys are good. They can run. And what's so impressive about the Cowboys is they're 2 or 3 deep on defense.
Lufau being chased. We're going to 3rd down and 10. We talked about Sefo's dad, Joe, who was in the U.S. Army at age 18. Sefo would play basketball rather with his dad and his dad's Army buddies. So he told us early in the season you're not allowed to call fouls when you play against your dad and his Army buddies.
But he's tough, and he wears number 13 because of his dad.
Yep.
So he has tremendous respect for him. But Colorado's back. This is a bad night, but they're back as a program, and the fans should be so pumped.
Rifle over the middle for a 1st down, and Jay McIntyre will drag defenders to the 23-yard line. You said it. This is the first 10-win season since Gary Barnett was the head coach during the 2001 Fiesta Bowl run. Gary, my old radio partner, we used to call games together on the radio. You coached against Gary, one of my favorite guys in the business.
He's one of my favorite guys in the business. He's one of the best coaches ever. He turned around Northwestern. He did a super job for the Buffaloes. That 10-win season in 2001 came against the University of Texas.
That's right. Was that the last win? That was the last win, correct? Or
yes.
Of that 10-win season? Okay.
Yes, it was. And they went to the Fiesta Bowl, and we ended up going to the Holiday Bowl to play Washington. And young Major Applewhite ended up throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns and winning the game, to show you how old I am.
Sure.
But it knocked us out of a national championship. So that's how good the Buffaloes were.
And again, they've matched that double-digit win total, and a 1st down catch made by Shea Fields. Gary and I called the Iron Bowl together. 2013, we got to call the Kick 6 game together, and when Chris Davis got past the 50, Gary just started punching me in the arm, going, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" He couldn't believe it. One of the best memories I have with him.
Yeah, he's such a knowledgeable football guy. He's fun. So good to see him back. Rich George brought him back to Colorado as the radio analyst, and it's great for him to be back with the Colorado Buffaloes.
Second down and 4 here. Get a 1st down without scoring. Colorado trying to avoid its first shutout since 2012. Lufau has space, and Sefo Lufau into the end zone to get Colorado on the board. First Colorado touchdown in their last 21 drives.
Yeah, it's been tough, and Sefo's been hurt, but a really good block by number 81, Sean Irwin, senior. These guys have not shut it down. They have not quit. They're still competing till the end of this ball game.
Oklahoma State trying to get a defender off the field. Jeff Heaser checking with Mike McIntyre on the sideline.
Legal substitution. Defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Try.
So again, Sefo Lufau coming off a touchdown. They're taking an extra look at this, though, too, to determine whether or not Lufau had broken the plane before he may have been down. And a replay official is Tom DeJoseph on this ACC crew. Lufau is back out there. We'll go for 2 here. Seemingly the touchdown has been confirmed. So they'll go for 2.
Especially with a penalty. Gets you a little bit closer. Probably would have anyway, but.
Lufau will throw it out to Lindsey, trying to beat the defense to the pylon and does. So 31-8 the score. Makes it a 23-point game. Well, 5:28 to go. Perhaps expect an onside kick on the other side. Sefo Lufau able to punch it in for a touchdown, then find Philip Lindsey. Colorado giving some fight, but it's all Cowboys tonight. Celebrating its 11th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed millions to scholarship funds. Adam Amin, Mac Brown, Molly McGrath. Some exuberant Colorado fans. They just got a touchdown, their first in their last 21 drives. Again, fans have to be excited about this. We told our buddy, our ESPN colleague, Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, former Colorado Buffalo, is actually watching from his home in Denver tonight. He's recovering from some minor knee surgery. Our buddy on NBA Countdown. Chauncey, you're doing well. Michelle Smith, our softball colleague, Oklahoma State alum, probably pretty happy about this. And out of the pack comes Jawan Seals on the onside kick. So Oklahoma State takes over with 5:23 to go. We'll put a bow on the seasons of these two clubs as we close out this 24th Valero Alamo Bowl. The Cowboys en route to a 10th win. Well done, everybody in the truck. This is awesome. These guys are ruining my childhood now. Coachman and Connors Sports Center at night after the game on ESPN. They'll have a recap of all the bowl games, some great comebacks today, NBA, college hoops, NFL news, and the rest of the day in sports. My guys, Coach and Connors, will take care of you. That's a much better sight. Father and son enjoying the Valero Alamo Bowl here. And Oklahoma State, their fans pumped up with a 31-8 lead and 5:23 to play as Mason Rudolph, over 300 yards passing, has run a very efficient and effective Oklahoma State offense tonight.
The other two guys will probably get texts from their parents saying, you know you're on TV.
The 6-year-old child in me is crying somewhere, but regardless.
Now you're trying to kill the clock.
Yep.
4-minute offense. Wait till you have 3 seconds left on the clock before you snap it. Run the ball, get home. Talk about Colorado next year being good. Colorado's going to be good, but what about Oklahoma State?
State going to be scary, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, they could contend at the top of the Big 12 for sure.
And again, they were essentially the runners-up at the tiebreak against the second place, or in the second place spot. 1 win shy of being the Big 12 champs as Seals runs it left. Ryan Moeller on the stop. Following the game, you can tune into the ESPN3 post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One. And the MVP of the game, as well as the Valero Alamo Bowl trophy, will be given to seemingly the Oklahoma State Cowboys, barring a miracle here. We talk about all the offensive weapons that are coming back for this team. Really good recruiting class expected for Oklahoma State. They're going to add some junior college guys on the defensive side of the ball. They've got a 5-star wide receiver transfer eligible, Tyron Johnson as well. Washington and Rudolph, as you mentioned, both coming back. And this kid, the freshman, had a big season. Broke every freshman rushing record of Justice Hill in the record books and in the end zone. And what is a punctuation mark for the Cowboy offense tonight? 100-yard game for Justice Hill. That's his 6th of his freshman year. 5 of them came against Big 12 opponents, and he had 99 against Oklahoma. Pretty good close to this opening campaign.
He is so impressive. He's like a dart. He is so hard to tackle. He's got tremendous speed. Young man's a 171-pound freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. When you break Thurman Thomas's record, he actually tweets congratulations. That's pretty cool for a freshman. Just a draw play, show pass, trying to run the clock. Got the Colorado defenders upfield. Guy's got great speed. Easy touchdown for the Cowboys.
Oklahoma State hadn't had a 1,000-yard rusher for 3 years, and Mike Gundy had one this year. Consistency for this Oklahoma State program, maybe the best lettuce in the business. I mean, I know they're partying in Stillwater right now, but it's business up top and party in the back for Mike Gundy. Gets a lot of pub, and what I like about it is the fact that he plays along with it. Everybody talks about it. His staff, his players talk about it, and even to the point where Billy Ray Cyrus ends up tweeting about it and talking about it too. Billy Ray Cyrus, that's a direct quote, verbatim, from the country music star. Glenn Spencer, Baker Mayfield, the heated rival, Oklahoma, their quarterback, calling it ferocious. Zach Veach, maybe he hasn't gotten a haircut in a while, then I realize it's a full-blown mullet.
And I can promise you Mike doesn't care. He doesn't care what anybody thinks
Absolutely
or
not.
says, or Mike is going to do what he wants to do. And like I said, it is working for Mike and Oklahoma State.
Kyle Evans, who hadn't returned to kick until tonight, is hit shy of the 20-yard line and down at the 16. More bowl action. Capital One Bowl Mania rolls right along. AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel are coming back next year. Chubb's closing in on second place in the rushing marks. Georgia's beaten TCU all 3 times they've played. Nebraska will take on Tennessee. 21st ranked Vols in a matchup that brings back a lot of great memories, I'm sure, for Nebraska fans. That's in the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, starting up at noon tomorrow.
Some guys have been talking about meaningless bowls. Don't ask any of these coaches and players tonight if it's meaningless.
Jim Harbaugh and Jimbo Fisher said as much in their press conferences earlier today.
Means a whole lot. You still got a senior quarterback out there competing in a 1-minute offense.
Yeah, how about that? Sefo Lufau, who had to leave the game, was questionable to return with a right leg injury, comes back in the second half and trying to muscle through his 40th and final start. A Colorado record.
And Adam, we were fortunate enough to start with this bunch. Worst to first. They're supposed to be worst in their division. They end up first in their division. But we had Colorado against Colorado State early, first ball game, and they were so impressive. It's been a tremendous year for them. Coach McIntyre is up for the AFCA Comeback Coach of the Year. He's up for every Coach of the Year award. I'm pulling for him to hope he gets the Bobby Dodd Award that his dad got, and he keeps the coin in his back because that coin is something that's really special to him. George McIntyre was the head coach at Vanderbilt. My brother worked for him. I knew Coach very well, and he was a tremendous coach, better person, very similar to Mike, and he died in January of this year, so it's been a very, very difficult year for Mike, but what a job he's done bringing this program back.
You're going to the Peach Bowl. At the Peach Bowl is when they're going to announce the winner of that Coach of the Year award, the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year award. We try not to pull for favorites. We have relationships with coaches and players, and we certainly want the best for everybody as much as possible. I am rooting with everything I have that he gets to win that award after what he's been through. Losing his father earlier this season, he won the Coach of the Year award back in the 80s.
Now let's look at this guy.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph has been something else tonight. Over 300 yards passing, and he's been on target all night. But
yeah, he's even a receiver. He brings this one in and takes it down the boundary. He hasn't missed. He hits Washington on a slant. It's tight end Jarwin on the flat. Then he comes back and hits Sills in the end zone with a little double move. What a night offensively for the Cowboys.
He is our player of the game. It is brought to you by Capital One. 3 touchdowns to 3 different targets. 6 different receivers have caught a pass out of his 22 completions tonight. And Cowboy fans are ecstatic that he's coming back. He's done for the night. And Taylor Cornelius hands off to Barry J. Sanders.
And you're talking about recruiting. The best recruiting they've done is Washington and Rudolph coming back. I can promise you that. Everybody else will have to work with them.
Well, the mullet's about to get soaked here.
Well, and I would say as accurate as Mason has been, he wasn't going to miss the coach. He hadn't missed anything all night.
He and Jordan Stearns, who's had a big night on the defensive side. How about Bill Snyder last night, though?
Unbelievable.
In his late 70s, and they didn't want to pour the Gatorade bucket or the water and all the ice on him, so they gave him the confetti out of the bucket. That was pretty good stuff from Kansas State last night. You got to be nifty, you got to be shifty, and Mike Gundy was able to avoid, I think, the brunt of it.
And of course, it was orange. Mike was quick. He got out of the way, and he was so proud. And of course, Rudolph's breaking his record, so he's lost out in the quarterback department. He's got to be able to still win in the coaching department.
Yeah, remember, Mike Gundy entered this night second on the all-time passing list in Oklahoma State history behind Brandon Weeden. He and Zach Robinson both broke Gundy's all-time passing record. He was an outstanding quarterback at Oklahoma State. Tonight, Mason Rudolph passes Mike Gundy for second all-time on the passing charts. And again, with him coming back, he's likely going to end up as the all-time passing leader in Oklahoma State history. Samson Kafavalu on the stop of Childs. And there is Rudolph, and he's got a younger brother, too. We're talking about family ties. His younger brother is a stud defensive end. Logan is committed to Clemson. Can you imagine if Oklahoma State and Clemson continue their impressive streak, somehow end up meeting in a bowl game, maybe in a playoff or something? How nuts that would be.
Mama would not be happy. I can promise you that.
Their mom, Jamie, who is a track stud at Liberty. Their dad, Brett, who played football at North Carolina as well.
Well, you mentioned Bill Snyder. All young coaches should go try to see Bill Snyder and find out how the Wizard continues to win. It's just unbelievable what he does. And I was a recipient of a lot of those losses.
I'm well aware. So not as if you don't remember those heartily.
No.
Closing it out, Sports Center is coming up next. We've got the best crew in the business, led by Brian Yarrow and Aladdin Freeman in our truck. Bill Garrity, best spotter in the business, Ed Spita, Scott Lightman all season long. We appreciate Walt Anderson in the booth with us, Mark Carlson. Love everything he's done for us on our Friday night package and leading you all the way up to this Valero Alamo Bowl, which is an Oklahoma State victory behind Mason Rudolph and his 314 yards. Oklahoma State with another bowl appearance, another bowl win for the Cowboys. Mike Gundy, consistency for this Oklahoma State bunch. For my partner and friend Mac Brown, my partner and friend Molly McGrath, best kids you could ask for to work with, Adam Amin saying good night from San Antonio Sports Center. Coach and Connors, take it away.